Hello everyone. Today's layout, I'll be working with two 4x6 photos. The sister layout, which I haven't started yet, I'll put aside. It's a 6x8 photo, and I'll do that another day for you. I'm starting off by making grass for this layout, and what I'd like to do is take two shades of green, avocado, which is the darker shade, and the lighter shade is called patch. They're both by Basil, and I'm going to mix them up. I'll put the lighter shade in the back and the darker shade in the front, and what I'm trying to do is just give it a little bit of variety. It's really easy to do this. It's just a little time consuming, but I think the effect of it is really nice. It looks great in the layout in the end. So this layout, I thought about cutting out what comes up next because I ended up not using it. So all my layouts don't come out as smooth as they might look in the end. And this was one of them. I really went back and forth and struggled with it. I wanted the chandelier to match the sister page, and so I used gray metallic paint, gray and silver glitter. I sprinkled all over it, put a little Mod Podge on top to make it stick, and just kept playing with it until I got it to look as much like the chandelier on the Primrose cardstock. And it came out really nice. I like it. So there's no reason not to use it. So I'm going to move to super speed while I matte both of my photos. But the reason why I ended up not using it is because as I kept going along with the layout and working with it, my idea changed, like in the middle of the layout. And whenever that happens, all the embellishments or things that I pulled out, I may not use. And in this case, I not only made that one embellishment, I made a few more, and I colored some wood veneers and did all these different things thinking this is the direction the layout would go in. And it went in a different direction. And it started with the layering of this photo, because in the beginning I was going to do a very close-knit mat, not as wide as this is turning out to be. But I liked the cardstock, I liked how it was looking, and so it started to change. And sometimes once you change one thing, it just changes everything. And that's kind of what happened here. Everything wouldn't fit. The chandelier just really wouldn't work now with the way I framed out the photos. So I even made a flower, put a flower, but I didn't make the flower. I don't know who the flower's by, but I added a stem to it and, played with that, and that didn't work out. So anyway, anything that I made, it'll pop up, I'm sure, in another layout. But that's what I mean by sometimes the layout just takes you in a different direction. These were items that I ended up staining with Tim Holtz stain candy apple, and no way, it's not going to work. Not all of them anyway. But that one change, the one change of how I matted this particular photo changed the entire layout, because nothing else in my head really worked anymore. And I could feel myself struggling with it. I could feel myself like trying to force the layout to go in the original direction. I had all these real cute little animals, little puffy animals that I wanted to use, and a few other things, and it just couldn't happen. And so I had to like pull back, relax, and kind of just go with the new direction of where this was taking me. Even the journaling turned out different. I had planned to put it at the bottom in a totally different way, not on a string. So I was like kind of going nuts at the same time, because I love it when a plan comes together, but this plan was not coming together. It made me work for it, but in the end it was very much so worth it, and I liked it. I make it sound like it's rocket science, don't I? No, it's just scrapbooking. But I'm an addict. What can I say? But what was nice about the struggle was as the old ideas weren't working, new ideas started to flow. And um, when I was fooling around with the journaling, I didn't want to stick it like behind the photo or behind the cardstock and like make it hidden. I wanted it to show, and I wanted it to be easily reachable. So I decided to make it flip over, put the beginning of it and the title on the journaling card, and then when you flip it to the other side, it would tell the story of this particular layout. And I'll tell you that now. So my daughter is actually having a sit-in in our backyard on this green sofa. It's 2003. And we've had that sofa since 1989, 1990. When we moved from New York, it came with us. So the sofa has survived many a party and dinner parties and birthday parties and Thanksgivings and all sorts of things. She did not want to part with it. And we had tried putting a skirt on the bottom of it to cover up the hole, putting buttons back on it, sewing it, flipping the cushions. We did everything possible. We even had an estimate of what it would cost to refurbish it because we really liked the sofa. My husband and I liked it too. It would have been less expensive to go out and buy a new sofa, even one just like this, or pretty close. Anyway, she decided to have a sit-in, and every day she would go out into the backyard and sit on the sofa and refuse to move. Some days she'd bring a book, some days she'd bring her toys. She's 6 years old, so she just would sit out there, pretty much so enjoying herself out there. And one day I said to her, you know, the animals out in the yard are probably living in that thing. They probably made it their home. And she flew off the sofa. I mean, flew. And never got on it again and looked over at me and said, the city can have it. It was the funniest thing. So the idea there, I'm trying to put the chandelier on it. It's just not working. Trying to put the typewriters and I don't know. It's just all these things that I tried to put on there and that meant something to us, particularly at that time. Anyway, what was I talking about? I lost it. Oh, right now I'm putting some trimmings along the bottom of this because the grass was coming up. I cut it too close. So I put a green border on it, but then I found these little strips from Creative Memories, and I really liked it. I thought it gave it even more depth, and it just looks so cute. Little rocks on the side and everything. So I keep trying to make these puffy animals work, but it just wasn't happening. And then I found this deer, and once I put that down, again, everything changed. The puffy animals were just a little too, I don't know, maybe too playful for the layout. And so it just wasn't appealing to my eye anymore. And when I first decided to do the layout, I did want to put a heart on that tree, that heart. And that tree, there's another tree on the other side of the sofa, and that's where we hang out the hammock. And my daughter and my husband and I, we love like hanging out in there. So anyway, everything changed. I'm using stickers now from Creative Memories that I've had for eons. And, is that right? Eons? And they're from zoo life, animal life, camping, and I'm trying to make this umbrella work. I had to take off the entire stick, but it still worked. That was a piece that when I originally thought about the layout, I really wanted it over her to make it more kid-like, more friendly, more her. Because sometimes my layouts can be a little, I feel like I go on the dark side. And so I've been trying to play more with colors, to make things brighter, to bring in what suits the story so more so, and maybe not just what cardstock I like. Um, that doesn't make any sense, does it? But it does. Because just like the photo tells a story, you can help tell the story with cardstock, embellishments, and everything else that goes into the layout, including the journaling, which is very important. So I've been trying a lot lately when I look at my photo to try to choose cardstock that really flatters the, the photo, of course, but might also help with the story in the sense that, like for me, I picked this cardstock because when I looked at my daughter's dress, and I just did a layout recently just like this, the cardstock reminded me of the dress that she's wearing. And at this age, she loved pink. So for me, I felt like this pink cardstock helped tell the story. It's pink, it's full of flowers, her dress is full of flowers, our garden is full of flowers. It just, at least in my head, it kind of brings things together. And so adding in the animals, the campfire, and everything else really seemed to work. So I wanted to keep it light and airy and girly to help tell her story. And using these creative memories stickers also helped. It didn't overpower the cardstock, and I think the puffy animals were a bit more distracting. So this kept it a little bit more calm. I mean, she's very relaxed and calm on the sofa and determined not to part with it. But anyway, but it's there's so many ways that we tell our stories when we scrapbook, and it's the journaling, our embellishments, of course, our photos. And the best thing about scrapbooking, there's no wrong way. You can't mess it up. It's all up to the individual, what they like, where they want to put things. I like these tigers, but it's just not working. So I'm playing with all these different animals. As my voice goes in and out, I'll try to hold on to it till the end of this. And then I got another idea. I thought, why not stick something underneath the journaling so that when you lift it up, you're not just seeing blank. And I decided to put a little sticker that says, please don't feed the animals, or do not feed the animals, and maybe a couple animals with it. But I thought that was neat. So as I kept going, more and more ideas kept popping into my head, and some left, and some ideas popped in my head. I couldn't use them. But I really like the chandelier, and I'm sure it'll pop up on another layout somewhere at some point in time. I think I'm slowly coming to the end of this. Not quite, but getting there. But this turned out quite different than what I expected. But I like it just the same. I think I like it better this way than what I originally had in my head. Yeah, I think I do. I especially like the giraffe peeking over the journaling. I think the main reason why the chandelier didn't work was that it started to make the layout look dark, and then I would have probably added another dark element to it, and it would have changed the theme, I guess, of it. I don't think it would have been as cute. Anyway, I am coming to an end here of another layout. I'm so happy getting those photos into albums. It's always exciting. I'm thinking about taking my 2018 album and starting like from the beginning and going through the year as things happen. I've never done that, so we'll see if that is at all possible for me. I like these little pearls. Anyway, I always stand my layout up and look at it because for some reason it's a whole different view. And it's not to make sure nothing's falling off. It's, I don't know, it looks different. And so I always check to see, does it need anything else? And that's the position I do it in. Anyway, I am done. Give you a little closer look here. I have a few stills coming up for you. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and do like, subscribe to me, and share. It's very easy to do. Happy scrapbooking, and see you next time.